Hi, I am back with a brand new video today. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you might not know that I just recently returned from a trip to the States last month. So if you ever want to see what I'm getting up to in my daily life, if you want to see when I'm going on trips and stuff like that, go ahead and check out my Instagram so you can be sort of updated on that kind of stuff. And yeah, I am back now in Germany with a new video today, and it is going to be about weird German things. I have actually made a video like this in the past, but I've sort of collected a lot of things I found really strange in Germany, and so I'm going to be sharing a few of those with you today. Some of them are like culture shock, and some are just really random things that I didn't understand or didn't know existed before I lived in Germany. So, if you're curious about any of that, keep watching. I'm going to point out is something that I have talked about in a bunch of different videos. I even made a video all about this topic, and that is what Germans drink. And no, I don't mean beer, because that would definitely make sense. What I'm talking about is sparkling water. In my experience in Germany, it is way more normal to drink sparkling water than to drink normal flat water. And as somebody that really doesn't enjoy plain sparkling water, this is an issue for me. Okay, I shouldn't say it's an issue, that's a little bit dramatic, but I just find it really weird that Germans tend to not just drink normal flat water. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole topic of the fact that Germans tend to not drink tap water, but they prefer to buy bottled water. That's a whole other topic. But I do just want to point out, as somebody who's from the Pacific Northwest in the United States, it's really weird to me to not just drink water flat from the sink, and that everybody always wants to drink sparkling water. I'm not saying this is a bad thing at all, it just was a little bit of a culture shock for me when I would be in a restaurant and I would ask for water and they would just bring me sparkling water in a bottle. I know that this is just a personal taste thing, personal preference, what you prefer to drink, but until I moved to Germany, I hadn't met that many people that were so obsessed with drinking sparkling water and preferred it far more than drinking regular flat water. So let me know in the comments below what you prefer to drink, and if you like sparkling water more than normal water, please let me know why. Alright, so next up is something that might be a little bit of a touchy subject, and that is that, from what I can tell, Germans really don't like to argue and don't like to face confrontation. Now, I'm somebody with a lot of really strong opinions, and if given the chance, I will argue my point and, debate with somebody over why I feel that my opinion is important or right or whatever. And I find that in Germany, people are much more subdued, and I think it has to do with manners and being polite. Now, not to bash my parents or anything, but I wasn't raised with really strict manners. I obviously know how to be polite and get along with people just fine, but I was always taught that I should say what I want to say and what I'm thinking, and I shouldn't worry so much about what other people are going to think about me. Basically, I was taught that what's important to me is more important than pleasing other people and being polite. To a certain extent, of course. If I'm trying to get a job, I'll set aside my opinions often so that I can be polite and get a job, but I think you get what I'm saying. Now, I've actually spoken to a few people about this, and I've come to find that Germans really are just taught very intensely to be polite and to have really good manners, and it means that then they're not as able to be confrontational and to debate their point and to be really opinionated that way because they don't want to offend anybody. And while this might seem like a really nice thing because nobody's feelings are gonna get hurt, it also means that I get really frustrated because I feel like nobody's being 100% honest and upfront with me. I obviously know that not all Germans are like this. I know I'm making a generalization, and I do only live in southern Germany, so for all I know, different parts of Germany are different, but this is just my experience so far while living here. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. If you think that what I'm saying is totally not true and you think that Germans are good with debate and good with confrontation, comment below and let me know. Or let me know if you think I'm right, if you think that sometimes politeness and manners get in the way of being upfront and honest with people. Alright, next one is the most important thing that I'm going to talk about today. No, I'm just kidding, not at all. This is that Birkenstocks and socks is really a thing that old men do. In the United States, when I was a teenager, the trend of Birkenstocks was very, very popular. Basically, the hipsters started taking over Birkenstocks, and they would wear socks and Birkenstocks together. I know that Birkenstocks are from Germany, so I'm giving you guys total credit for Birkenstocks, but when I was a teenager, I wanted Birkenstocks, everybody wanted Birkenstocks, and you wore your fun, mismatched, colored, and weird socks with them. I know that in Germany, some people, some German hipsters and younger people do start to do this as well here, but for the most part, the people I see wearing Birkenstocks and socks are older men. I will still occasionally wear my Birkenstocks with socks here, but I know I'm gonna be getting some kind of weird looks whenever I do this. This is just something I thought was really funny because a couple of times I wore to work my Birkenstocks with socks, and my coworkers were kind of like, that's kind of weird, maybe you shouldn't do that. So just comment below and let me know what you think about this. If you think wearing Birkenstocks and socks is really dorky and silly and only older men do this, or if you think it's totally acceptable for younger people to do this as well. Alright, next up I have cash-only stores. This is something I have not experienced in very many countries. I think the only time I've come across this was in Spain, and it wasn't really common. In Germany, it's pretty normal here, at least where I live, to go to a store and not be able to pay with card. I just got back from spending time in the States, and you literally don't carry cash there at all. Like, my family never ever pays with cash. They only ever pay with card because everybody has one of those machines at their store to pay with card, even if it's a tiny, tiny little shop or a little restaurant or whatever. So coming back to Germany and realizing there are a lot of stores and restaurants where I can't pay with card and I have to have cash with me is kind of weird. Most stores do slowly start to have little card machine in them, but there are still quite a few that don't. And I think this has something to do with the way you get taxed, but I'm honestly not really sure about that. If you know, comment and let me know. But either way, this was already a few years ago something that was a pretty big culture shock to me, and I started carrying cash everywhere I went and not using my card as much, which wasn't normal for me because usually in the States I would use my card. I actually kind of like a society that uses cash. There's something about using cash where you really feel like you're actually spending your money, like it's not imaginary money, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, I find it helpful when you have the option to use card if you don't have enough cash with you. So, anyways, moving on. Alright, last up on my list, I have nude areas. This is something I really didn't expect when I came to Germany. It was a huge culture shock to me to find out that there were areas at the lake or at the river where you could just be totally naked, and people are. I think the stereotype about Germans is that they're very rule-abiding and straight-laced, and the idea that then they would all go to the lake and take all their clothes off to lay around naked was totally crazy to me. It's definitely something you wouldn't expect in German society, at least I definitely didn't expect it, and I honestly really enjoyed the fact that it exists. I like the idea that Germans are thought of as being very straight-laced, and then they just go to the lake and get naked and don't care at all about anybody looking at them or judging them or whatever. So even if you wouldn't participate in being naked at the lake, I think we can all agree that that's kind of a neat part of German society that people probably don't expect. Alright you guys, that is all of the weird things I have lined up for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button so I know you enjoyed it, and comment below and let me know what you think about all this stuff. Let me know your opinions. I love to read your comments, and I'll do my best to reply to as many of them as I can. And yeah, if you would like to see a little bit more about me and my life and what I'm getting up to, go ahead and check out my Instagram for sort of updates and stuff like that. And I guess that's all for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!